Hello everyone and welcome back guys to episode 4 of my F1 2018 Williams Road to Glory career mode, where today we're here for the first round in Europe for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. And thank you all so much for the support on yesterday's 3 episodes. There will hopefully be 2 today, potentially 3 depending on what the sport's like and if you guys want to see that many videos on the whole. But yeah, looking forward to this European Grand Prix. Obviously Williams famously scored a podium here in the 2017 season. This track, I feel like it will suit this car a little bit better than in recent times, and especially after quite a strong showing.
We had a major issue on the production line earlier this week, so the entire development package for this weekend has failed. Check your workstation for the details.
And I was just talking about going into this Grand Prix weekend with confidence, and it appears that, well, some of that confidence has been knocked. Unfortunately, yeah, the development failed for the engine upgrade, which probably, out of everything that could have failed, the engine upgrade is probably the least of my worries. So, we'll sort of take that, we'll try to improve it ready for the next week. But we have got the weather forecast as well for this round 4 of the season here in Baku. And, well, this race usually creates some, just crazy races. And if you look at that weather, we could be on for one of those this weekend. A dry to wet race on the whole. My first wet race on F1 2018 career mode, and obviously hoping that, it can, well, it sometimes works for you, obviously it sometimes doesn't. We need to hope that we're on the side of it working this weekend. As you can see as well, Sauber actually brought a couple of upgrades to this weekend, which means they have now leapfrogged back ahead of us. You can see we're swapping over so far this season, but then they're pretty much up to Toro Rosso's level now, and we're just trying to keep up in these early stages of the season. As you can see, yeah, that part did fail. We'll have a look there and we can actually develop it again for another 250 points, but it will guarantee to work this time, which I'll take on the whole. Effectively now we technically somehow have the strongest engine on the grid, but that won't be our main focus over the rest of the season. 170 R&D points as we move into practice.
Welcome to the Baku City Circuit, where free practice for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix is about to get underway. This is a technical circuit which will nonetheless see some huge speeds with a near flat-out final sector that's twice the length of Shanghai's back straight. Let's see who can find the right balance in their setup today.
So here we are then in Baku for the first practice session here, the first street circuit, well, proper street circuit of the calendar. And well, first of all, obviously like we do every time, the track climatization, that actually, yeah, found it quite confident around this circuit. 610 points to see, I think 4 greens over the rest of them, and the rest were purple there. So really, really happy with that result. Unfortunately, that was going to be the only highlight of free practice for me, unfortunately, as we go on to, I think it's the tyre management test on this next run here. Coming down now to start this run as we come through the final chicane, and I don't even know what I was doing there, but that was a, well, stupid error by me on the whole. They're really, well, we'll have to have a look on the replay quickly. We'll get a sort of slow motion version of it. I think I just don't get the car turned in through the first part anywhere near enough, and yeah, obviously just have nowhere near enough angle. I was worried if I put too much crank lock on, we completely unsettled the car. So a very, very poor mistake from myself means we're out of free practice for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Very, very frustrated on the whole with that, but obviously, hopefully, as we move into the race weekend, free practice is the best place to be making these mistakes. So hopefully, when we move into quali, it'll go all right.
The circuit has rubbed in with practice, but this is still going to be a difficult session for our drivers as they fight for pole position. Welcome.
So here we are then, ready for Q1 of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix.
Right, it's not going to be easy getting into the next qualifying session, but we know you'll give it your all.
So the team still, don't have too much faith in me in the early stages of this season, but we have made a couple of small setup changes. We're going to try and run a bit reduced aero, and then as you can see, first lap, nothing really to write home about, 19th currently, as we move towards the end of the session. But on this second lap, as you can see, we're a second up as we come in towards the final sector, and this was going to be really, really close, whether we were going to be able to make it out into Q2. I'm pretty certain Lance Stroll, my teammate, was actually on the cutoff, so it is quite clear that Williams do actually have some decent pace around this circuit. Down towards the line, where is it going to put us? Will we get into Q2 for the first time this season? Yes, we will. P12 at the end of Q1 there. I will certainly take that result. Very, very happy with that one. As you can see, we actually did get it through into Q2 by a good sort of 0.3 of a second there, so really, really happy with that. Max Verstappen actually just made it through there. But yeah, Marcus Ericsson, Lance Stroll, Stoffel Van Dorn, Pierre Gasly, and Brendan Hartley there. Toro Rosso clearly showing very little pace around this Azerbaijan circuit, obviously with that Honda power unit there. But we made it through into Q2. Unfortunately, I'd burned through way too many sets of tyres, so there was nothing really to talk about from Q2 of this Azerbaijan Grand Prix. So we did one run, it was absolutely terrible, and we found ourselves all the way down in P15. But having a look then overall at the resource points, obviously we'll be able to claim quite a few there as we were able to make it into Q2. 100 points just for the result versus the car performance takes us back over the 500 mark, which means that, well, it could be another upgrade lining ourselves up for over the course of this race weekend. But, you know, we're starting to fill up the upgrades, and unfortunately at the moment we've only got
I think we
one.
can call that a successful qualifying.
Obviously we can only use one upgrade per department. So I'll have a look, you know, we'll see what is going on. I think we've got an upgrade currently going on the chassis, if I'm not mistaken. I think we do, yeah, as you can see on the top row of this chassis development. You know, unfortunately that means we won't be able to do a chassis upgrade. We're also not going to do an aero upgrade, you know, and we can't unfortunately do an engine one after the powertrain upgrade failed last time out. We considered doing sort of a cheaper, you know, sort of the bonus thing for it, but unfortunately just wasn't, you know, it didn't feel right, especially on the powertrain. It just was a little bit pointless. But we are then going to develop the side pod turning vanes. Hopefully that'll give us a little bit of extra grip coming into the next few rounds of this season. I'll be really, really happy with that. But let's move on then into the European Grand Prix. My best chance of points so far.
Good afternoon and welcome to Baku. This was the arena, if you think back to 2017, of one of the most eventful races of modern history, with controversy behind the safety car, last-second overtakes, and a historic podium for Williams and for Lance Stroll. So let's find out what lies in store for us this year. It's time for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Baku City Circuit then, an unpredictable 3.7-mile track around the streets of the Azerbaijan capital. 20 turns for our drivers to navigate today, including the infamous Turn 8, one of the tightest and most challenging corners of the season. Joining me for the Grand Prix once again is Anthony Davidson. Let's talk briefly about Stoffel Van Dorn. Looks like they've got a tough race in store today, as grid penalties from changing power unit components has forced them further down the field.
But on the bright side, at least those fresh components can help them maintain the power they need to come through the pack. I expect to see them take a more aggressive approach today to make up for the compromised start.
With that then, let's run through the grid order. An immense lap from Lewis Hamilton yesterday puts him on pole position, with Sebastian Vettel starting alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Bottas, Ricciardo, Max Verstappen and Alonso, Ocon, Grosjean, Sainz and Nico Hülkenberg. Raikkonen, they'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Perez, Charles Leclerc and Magnussen. The Professor, Ericsson, Lance Stroll and Pierre Gasly. Hartley and Stoffel Van Dorn completes the grid. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
So really, really looking forward to this Grand Prix. What does Jeff have to say?
We're in a better grip position than we were expecting. Let's see if we can hold on to it.
So Jeff, yeah, very, very happy with that. Obviously my first Q2 outing so far this season. Actually not the highest I've started though. I think we started 14th at China, obviously with that, with a couple of drivers with penalties. So it was probably our best race on raw merit, but you know, pace-wise, you know, we were slightly quicker around here. But as you can see, we're going to go for a bit of an interesting strategy here. With the rain coming towards the end of the race, my thought process was if we can take those supers and then the ultras to the rain, then we could be in a really, really good shape, you know, to try and go for a bit of a cheeky strategy, you know, be quicker throughout the entirety of the race, probably be in a little bit of a higher position throughout the Grand Prix, and then just hope that it works out for us at the end. You know, we may as well take risks here at round 4 of the season here in the Europe, and Azerbaijan, it's lights out, and away we go there. Charlie Whiting wasted no time whatsoever, and it's been a much better start than we got last time at the Chinese Grand Prix, breaking down in towards turn 1. They're trying to keep it right on the outside of Kevin Magnussen there. Are we going to be able to keep that move? I think we are just about going to give Charles Leclerc a little bit of a kiss in towards turn 1 there, as we do. Well, we managed to keep the front wing intact, which is obviously a very, very important on the whole as we come now down this next straight. Going to engage the ERS all the way to hot lap mode. We think about going up the inside of Leclerc and also Sergio Perez there. So a fantastic little double overtake if I do say so myself. And now we move up to P12 of the European Grand Prix, all over the back of Kimi Räikkönen after he faced a grid penalty after qualifying there. So, you know, we're looking quite strong as we come through these first couple of corners of this European Grand Prix. But it was a bit of a weird race on the whole, this one, because, well, we sort of found ourselves in between sort of two groups in terms of raw pace. We found ourselves ahead of sort of like the Force Indias, the Saubers, the Hasselbanks and my teammate, and the Toro Rossos, but we were struggling to keep up with the guys in front of me unless they started fighting, which as you can just see just ahead of us, we've got both Renaults of Carlos Sainz and Nico Hülkenberg starting to get involved in a little bit of a battle. So, you know, potentially a bit of Renault civil war could be going on at the moment. But yeah, this is certainly helping us out, you know, get us a little bit closer to these guys as we come out of the first couple of corners on lap 4 of this Grand Prix. And yeah, so far, this race, you know, we've been maintaining a good pace. We finished P12 last time out at the Chinese Grand Prix, so to be P12 again, you know, nice shot, wasn't just a complete fluke there. They're all over the back now of Carlos Sainz. He was just fighting with his teammates, that we were able to close up so much over those last few corners. We're going to turn the engine back down though, but no opportunity is opening itself up just yet. But on to the end of lap 4 though, and it seems that Fernando Alonso in one of the other Renault Power Unit cars is really starting to struggle as well. Hülkenberg trying to look around the outside of the McLaren Renault there as we come through in towards the final chicane here. They're going to slow each other down so much. That's going to cost Carlos Sainz a huge amount of time as well. We're going to peel to the inside of Sainz. He tries to shut the door on me. Alonso trying to shut the door on all of us here. There's a huge amount of contact, but we're just about able to keep it pointing in the right direction, trying to do a bump and run on Nico Hülkenberg past Carlos Sainz as well. On the long run down towards turn 1, it's going to be a 3-car overtake. A bit of contact with Carlos Sainz there, but what a move in the end there. Able to use the Mercedes Power Unit to my advantage, a triple overtake on towards lap 5 there, and I was really happy with that. But unfortunately, you know, this wasn't too long-lived. Unfortunately, you know, it was really, the slipstream on this game is really potent on the whole, as well as the fact that the AI are very quick as well. So Carlos Sainz going to be able to move straight back past me. A couple of laps later, Sergio Perez also going to try and look up the inside of the Renault car as well. That he might be able to make a double overtake. Like, well, obviously I made a triple overtake just one moment ago, but a double overtake certainly wouldn't be too bad either. Through the first couple of corners though, we kick out the rear end of this Williams car there, and Sergio Perez does complete that double overtake there. Always has gone well at this track of Sergio, but we're now going to try and look up the inside of Carlos Sainz. He tries to re-dive bomb Sergio Perez there, so we're all getting very scary, you know, a lot of contact, you know, we're making a lot of enemies out here today at this early stage of the race. But pretty much now at the halfway stage, a lot of drivers now opting to make their first pit stop here, and we're now all over the back of Carlos Sainz. You know, potentially could line up a move. We're going to engage the rich revs, engage the 5 hot lap mode of ERS deployment as well on the long run down towards turn 3. Carlos Sainz going to try and go a little bit defensive. We're going to park it on the apex there, and I was very happy with that move, able to get the car slowed down into the apex there, and we now move up into P4 of this European Grand Prix here, the halfway stage of the race. But 1 lap later, it is time to make our first pit stop of the day. As I said, you know, we're going to try and pit on to a set of ultras that almost moves the back end as we came through the fast S section, and that could certainly been a repeat of free practice there. Daniel Ricciardo flies past me. We're going to dive it into the pits though, and now it's a case of praying that the rain does come in this Grand Prix. You know, we've got about 3 or 4 lap window where it's perfect for obviously the rain to drop for me. We'll be a lot quicker than pretty much everyone else at this stage of the Grand Prix. It looks like pretty much everyone else has continued to try and maintain their one-stop strategy here. So as you can see, a lot of guys on super softs, a lot of guys on soft compound tyres as well. Unfortunately, we're going to drop quite a few places there. We did lose a bit of time fighting with a few cars there, but we are going to come out in P13 here ahead of my teammate Lance Stroll. So this is going to be absolutely crucial over these next couple of laps, trying to make up these places. You know, we've got about, as I said, about a 6-lap operating window where we can really capitalise on the AI. Just a few corners later, closing up to the back of Fernando Alonso here and breaking down in towards turn 7. He's going to brake stupidly early there, caught me off guard. So I had to, well, it was an accidental overtake in the end. I took evasive action and pretty much found myself on the apex of the corner there. So that moves us now back up into P12 of this Grand Prix, but still a lot more opportunities to come as we're now closing up to the back of Charles Leclerc, once again coming through the second sector down in towards this horrible, well, I say it's horrible, I actually quite enjoy this corner as well, but there's a huge traffic jam.
On signs. They have an issue with their car. They're going to be slow.
So Carlos Sainz, yeah, is the one causing all of these issues at the moment then. He's at the head of this train, and he's having some serious engine issues here. So once again, it's looking like we're going to get an absolute bottleneck as we come out of the final corner. Are we going to be able to overtake many cars here? We're going to use the slipstream, the hot lap mode, the rich revs, and the DRS here. Are we going to be able to move past Magnussen? Yes, we do. Both myself and Leclerc go past him. Kimi Raikkonen dives into the pits there as well. That's a 3-car overtake. As such, they're braking now in towards turn 1. Hulkenberg and Sainz once again locked into battle there. Sainz going to go a bit defensive on me. We're going to try and go for the switchback move there. Unfortunately, just get caught out behind his car, and now pretty much pushing him out of that first couple of corners here as we come down this long back straight once more. That we're going to pull to the inside of Carlos there, and once again go for the move like we did a couple of laps back. Pretty much an identical move there from myself to get it slowed down, parked on the apex, and that's been 5 places made up in just the space. So 15 minutes there until the rain is expected to arrive as well. Now that time was sort of going up and down, and it was looking a couple of laps later like that might drop just a bit, but we're now all over the back of Nico Hulkenberg here. Move to the outside, use the DRS once more there, and that's going to be a fairly easy move on the whole. Just really good to show how much the ERS can help you out in terms of overtaking there. So P6 now in this Grand Prix. So far the gamble seems to have paid off, but now it's a case of we now need to do a rain dance. The rain really does need to come over these next couple of laps, and all the way on now to lap 21. There it is. There's that sort of weird, sort of laggy bit of rain there that really signals the start of the rain there. A new strategy available from the team. It's going to be onto a set of super soft tyres there, or ultra softs even. I'm now going to move, so obviously when we do need to make our pit stop, onto a set of the intermediate tyres there. And, well, unfortunately for me, this is where our race starts to go a bit pear-shaped. The team came up with a new strategy that I thought was a bit of a bug, you know, where I just changed tyres and it didn't seem wet enough to pit in. I see Hulkenberg now is actually going to dive into the pits on the end of that lap as well. But I thought, you know, that was just a bit of a weird glitch, you know, the team would say, oh, pit now, even though I just changed the tyres. But as you can see, by the time we reached turn 1, the grip had basically gone. Now, it was meant to go heavy rain pretty quickly, but you can see just half a lap later, it's an ocean around Baku City. We do a Sebastian Vettel-esque crash as we come down towards turn 7 there, and well, that's the front wing gone. And well, as you can see, we've pretty much lost a pit stop in half a lap. Braking now down in towards turn 8. That's a huge amount of contact as well. Clip the wall as well, and well, we've span going through turn 8 there. That's going to bring out the virtual safety car, which is sort of going to help me, sort of doesn't really make too much difference. As you can see, that ghosts me. Everyone now is going to be able to fly through me. But yeah, we've finally done it. We've had the classic turn 8 bottle there, and that was really unfortunate for myself. As I said, you know, just thought that it was a bit of a bug. But it is certainly, the heavens have well and truly opened around Baku. Slam into the wall there. Just completely lost all turning, obviously. Pretty much no front wing, no grip on this set of ultra soft tyres in the rain as well. Braking now down in towards the final sector of this lap. Just about able to get the car turned in through that corner. The VSC is now ending as well, so clearly the VSCs on this game don't last as long as they have in recent games. But out of the final corner, well, the final proper corner, and well, it's not looking good at the moment. Return to racing speed. We've got Rixon fly straight around the outside there. Charles Leclerc is going to try and do the same as contact made between the pair of us there. I'm now facing the wrong direction. Kevin Magnussen is going to come in, as well as Fernando Alonso and Carlos Sainz, and well, somehow out of all of that I'm pointing in the right direction once again. Now we've got a puncture as well in this Grand Prix. It's probably good enough for wet tyres as well, as we come now down in towards the pit lane, and we've way outbroken ourselves. They're almost run to the back of my teammate, and that is us out of the European Grand Prix there. Really unfortunate. We just, well, the fact that, well, the heavens just well and truly open there. We'll have a look on the slow-mo of this run into the pit lane there. Just nothing from the car there. I tried to avoid my teammate on the way in, because obviously that would have been an even worse thing to do, but we have crashed a turn 8, a turn 7, and then in the pit lane here at Baku. Unfortunate, a retirement from free practice, a retirement from the Grand Prix. I think my first two sort of big retirements over the course of this season, and we've never actually crashed out of a session like that, so really gutted to end the race like that with such a short space of time to go, especially. But as I said, you know, we got to take these risks in these career mode. If it works, it works. If it doesn't,
Brilliant
it
stuff
doesn't.
from Mercedes today. That's another historic win. And I have to wonder, Anthony Davidson, just what set them apart from the competition here.
The difference was clearly in the strategy. You could tell they'd done a lot of work on the pit wall to really optimise each stint and get the most out of the tyres. And it highlights just how much of a team sport this really is. But credit to the driver as well, though. There's no good having a well-oiled machine behind the scenes without a talented hand on the wheel, of course.
So as I say that, we can see the drivers coming out now to collect their trophies. It's yet more silverware to take back to their base in Brackley after another excellent Grand Prix.
So there we are then, the end of the Bahrain, the European Azerbaijan Grand Prix there. And Hamilton was able to take home the race victory, 16 seconds clear of Sebastian Vettel there. Hamilton really, you know, sort of retried to stake his claim in the Drivers' Championship. 43 points scored in the last two races versus 8 in the first two there. Valtteri Bottas comes through for P3, Ricciardo in P4, with Hulkenberg 5th, Sergio Perez 6th, Van Dorn in 7th, from last on the grid. That is a very good drive by the McLaren driver there. Raikkonen in P8, Marcus Ericsson P9 scores the first points for Sauber, and Kevin Magnussen rounds out the points. Brendan Hartley, unfortunate just to miss out, with Max Verstappen finishing all the way down in P12 there. Pierre Gasly down, Fernando Alonso even P13, Pierre Gasly down in 14th. For Carlos Sainz, Esteban Ocon, Charles Leclerc, and my teammate Lance Stroll, the last driver to finish there, and that was really unfortunate for us at Williams. You know, we had good pace in the car over the course of free practice and qualifying, and well, unfortunately it just didn't work out in the race in the end there. As you can see, actually having a look at all the penalties, why people did end up with penalties, quite surprising to see the AI with them. Esteban Ocon and Max Verstappen clearly had a big crash with each other, so that caused that one. And then Sergio Perez and Sergio Perez and Daniel Ricciardo, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, they had a speeding under safety car, so they had a drive-through penalty. Charles Leclerc, yeah, he crashed me out according to the game there, and then Romain Grosjean retired due to terminal damage, and then Ocon and Verstappen 5-second penalties for unserved stop-goes, and then Sergio Perez and Ricciardo with 20-second penalties for not taking their drive-throughs there. But yeah, Sebastian Vettel though still leads by 20 points, further extending his lead over Bottas. Hamilton now moves all the way back up to P3, with Ricciardo 4th, Kimi Raikkonen down to P5 there, tied with Max Verstappen. Then you got Nico Hulkenberg remains best of the rest, with Ocon still in P8. Sergio Perez moves up to P9 after that strong result, with Carlos Sainz in 10th. Van Dorn now jumps his teammate all the way up to P11 there, with myself just behind Fernando Alonso, still tied with Romain Grosjean, his teammate Kevin Magnussen 1 point behind. Marcus Ericsson now gets points on the board, so well, Pierre Gasly does as well. We see Charles Leclerc, Brendan Hartley and Lance Stroll, the only drivers yet to score. Every team now has scored points, and the only real change was between Sauber and Toro Rosso there, with Marcus Ericsson's good race result, which means Toro Rosso are now last overall in the constructors' standings, which is certainly not ideal for those guys. But there we are then. That has been the end of the the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Unfortunate race in the end. They're really gutted with how that went. We do lose 1 point to my teammate Lance Stroll, but we're still 5 clear of him as well. We were actually able to pick up quite a few bonus resource points in that race as well, though, which I will certainly take. Obviously claiming the bonus as well for qualifying P16 in one race, even though we did it twice overall there, so very happy with that in the end. 616 R&D points as we move into the next Grand Prix. But hopefully, as I said, you guys have enjoyed. Make sure you like and subscribe, and hopefully I will see you guys next time for the Spanish Grand Prix.